This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. I love when we get together with her. She's got so much insight on one of those things we truly love so much, and that's our pets, specifically our dogs. And today we're going to talk about service animals, service dogs that are heroes, and also if you've ever thought about maybe certifying your dog as one, she can help you out with that and so much more. She deals in lots of behavioral issues with dogs, and we're actually gonna do a revisit on a doggy situation that we spoke about last time we got together with Katherine Andrews, who is the owner of the Animal Psychology Center, and she's back with us. How you doing today?
Hey, we are doing, this is Murray, by the way. Murray is joining us today for a little bit because we were going to do an update about him. He's a little guy that um, almost lost his home at an apartment because he was barking so much. He was lonely and they didn't know what to do. So we found out that Murray, through an evaluation that I do when I meet dogs, forgot how to be a dog. He does not know how to be a dog. He thinks he's a person. And so he being left alone for like 8 hours, a couple days a week was too much for him. So anyway, he came here and he joined my pack, and they taught him again how to be a dog, and he's going home today. We'll have another update. Thank you, Marie. Once he goes home, but today I just wanted to tell you that he's leaving with someone from my pack who was up for adoption. She's a little Pekingese named Tika, and they've become buds. And so Murray is now not just an only child. He actually has his own pack, and he and Tika are a pack. And that's what I tell my clients is that dogs like us are always happier when they're in a pack, which is more than one.
Okay. Lots to talk about here. When you described his situation, he was barking a lot. He wanted attention. Um, it was troubling the neighbors, and that was a challenge. He shows up on camera today. I didn't know that that was Murray. So I'm
Oh, you
expecting
didn't?
no. And when you said Murray, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same dog that was, barking all over the place and kind of out of
Yeah,
control.
yeah,
He
yeah.
he, he looks so chill, so relaxed, well behaved. Wow. Like
Yes. I do a good job. I know what I
yes,
do.
yeah, yeah. It's so not what I expected. That's why when before we got on here, I had to reconfirm the name.
Oh,
Like that's Murray who you
you.
told us about. Now, when you say he's got his now he belongs to a pact. What are you referring to again?
Well, now he has his own pack because he's going home today with Tika, a little Pekingese from my pack, who I decided to adopt them to his family. So she and Murray took a shine to each other. And previously, he would have nothing to do with other dogs at all. And he and Tika are now pals. And so he's going to go home with Tika today. And he's a lot happier. He's learned how to play again with dogs. He's interested in doing dogs things when the pack is running around and doing things. So he's a different guy. He's a lot happier. His parents are going to be super happy because he was they thought he was shy and kind of quiet. He's really not. He's a
Hmm.
very social little guy. And so anyway, I'm really happy that we were able to bring his personality
Wow.
out and find out who he really is. And now he's going home with a friend, and they get to be in a pack together, and he won't be lonely anymore.
So is Tika a permanent situation for him?
Yes, it is. And it's going to
Wow.
be hard for me because I've had her for a year. And but I've adopted thousands of dogs over the years, and if I
Hmm.
if I couldn't let them go, I'd have thousands of dogs. So I can't. But it's
Wow.
still hard.
What do you
It's real
do in
hard.
that situation where you might detect that your dog is lonely? Well, let's say they're an only child in your home. Um, what can you do? Would your dog consider themselves being a member of the pack, i.e., your family? Would that count as a pact?
No, it's kind
Hmm.
of like I tell people, giraffes need other giraffes. you can be friends with a giraffe, and people are, zookeepers are. But giraffes need other giraffes. Kids need other kids. Like your kid cannot just make do with you. They need other kids. And so dogs are pack animals just like us. And it's rare, but they need other dogs to be
Wow.
complete, to be whole, to be emotionally healthy.
So let me ask you this now. What if you have a dog and a couple of cats? Does that count as a potential pack?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Depends on the dog. Depends on how happy everybody is, because there's always exceptions to rules. We see about this now. We see, you know, a hippopotamus who's best friends with a turtle, or a duck who's best friends with a dog. So sometimes that does happen. We do cross species lines, but generally we do need our own kind as well.
Mm, I would take him in a second.
Is he not adorable? Look at him.
Oh
He
my
has
gosh.
personality. And I'll tell you, Steve, when I got him, they called him a grumpy old man, and he's only like 5 years old. But he's not a grumpy old man. He just was not the happiest he could be. He was just I think we would call it depression, actually.
What I'm getting, and I'm not an animal communicator, but I got to say this because I'm feeling it. He
Mm-hmm.
he was misunderstood.
Oh, exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's what animal communicators help you do, is to be able
Oh,
I always say I'm the mouthpiece for the dog, and to let their people know what they really want and what they need to get their needs met. And dogs are different. Dog Different dogs have different needs, or they want a different choice. They have different choices. So,
he is
yeah, his
just
choice.
sweet. Like he just like chill, hanging out, no issues. Um, he's aware of everything. He's, taking it all in. But,
Yep.
but radically different from what you described when you first got him,
He is
or what the
radically.
owner, what his person was going through in the apartment, with the barking and he was just lonely. That's what the barking was.
Yeah. He was also very nervous and insecure, so he would shake,
Hmm.
and he would, in any given situation, he would want to move away from whatever was going on. Like if someone came to visit, or if you took him someplace out in the park or something, he wouldn't want to join the festivities. He would want to move away. And that's not normal, because
Mm.
dogs are social creatures just like we are. And so all these things that they were telling me, I'm like, yeah, he sounds like he forgot how to be a dog. And when they brought him here, I could clearly see it, because he wanted nothing to do with anybody, and he would just sequester himself.
Wow. What he's a what type of breed?
A mini dachshund.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Wow.
Very, very, very popular breed. Lots of people have them.
Yeah, I like smaller dogs, like small to medium sized dogs, and that's what he kind of looks like right there.
Yeah, he's only about like 9 pounds. He's little.
Wow. Wow. Mine is like 20, 21 pounds,
Mhm.
somewhere around there.
Mhm.
Well, congratulations on that. He's so not only did he find a friend in you, he was rehabbed a little bit, and now he's got a girlfriend. How bad could it be?
Yeah, yeah. He's
Wow.
um he's rocking and rolling. He is definitely the man. And it was really fun to watch him learn how to play again and get excited and run around with the pack, because he'd never done that in his life. And now he gets to come here when his parents go on vacations and things too. So he'll stay with us, he and Tika. So they get to come back and visit, and
Mm. It's
so yeah,
almost like he found himself again, you know?
he did. Yeah, he did. That's really the fun part of my job, is that we get to see these transformations and
Wow.
experience all this happiness. Yeah.
How does that, Catherine, how does that make you feel knowing that what he was challenged by? So now you're helping his human, you're helping him. Um, from what you described, it's like a 180. How does that make you
Yeah.
feel?
Amazing. That's why I always say I never get tired of my job, and I love my job, and I learn so much from every single dog that I work with, and it's a constant education, which I love because I'm a type A and I love to learn and I love to think outside the box, and they
Mm,
will definitely make you do that.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for introducing him to us. Congrats again.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for, the people that he lives with.
We
And
will. Yeah, he's going to go home today, and maybe in a future podcast, we'll talk a little bit about what happened once he went home.
yeah, I definitely want an update. Like,
Yeah,
and that is
because
so
now
cool.
we
Um,
know Murray.
so another thing that you are very strong about is service dogs, and you can help pretty much anywhere, anybody, anywhere. And there's not too many people that can do this. Help people get their dog certified for service if that's their choice. Um, Service dogs getting a lot of attention lately, a lot of hero service dogs. Can we talk about that?
Sure, I could talk about that for the next 5 years, I think, because there are so many stories that I have about dogs that are are heroes because of the lives they save with the people who they're paired with, and just even the everyday things that they do, seizure alert, and
Hmm.
that's the first thing that comes to mind. And there's a client of mine who got a Labrador, and this dog was not even task trained. He was certified as a service dog, but he started to wake him up at night, and one barking and scratching, and one night he woke him up, and he said his heart was just pounding, and he knew something was wrong because he could feel his heart fluttering too. So he went to the hospital, and they
Hmm.
said that his dog, and by the way, dogs can monitor your blood chemistry, your heart rate, um, and your just your sense of well-being too. And so anyway, went to the hospital, and they said that he had severe AFib, and that it could have led to a massive stroke. So basically, he still saved him from
Wow.
having a stroke. Yeah. So now they're doing something about that, and he doesn't have these symptoms anymore. But because he was asleep when the symptoms were occurring, he wasn't even aware of them until his dog started waking him up and saying, "Hey, buddy, your heart, there's something wrong with your heart right now." And when it got bad enough where he could feel it, then he went to the hospital. So,
Now,
but he started doing it even before it got bad. So dogs they can let you know even 12 hours before you have a seizure or an episode that you're going to have it, and start preparing you. And then that way you can prepare yourself so you never have it. You never have the seizure or the episode.
mm, does a dog need to be trained for that specifically?
Well, I'll tell you, here's the deal. When you train a dog to be a service dog and partner with someone, that dog will ultimately start to take care of that person. And a lot of times my dogs will start to task on their own, meaning that they will start to address the individual's disability, just like this dog did. This dog wasn't trained for this, but he knew how to do it because
Mm,
he had all of the work done being trained as a service dog. Does that make sense? So you
yeah.
you kind of go through undergrad, and then you pair them up with somebody in graduate school, and because of the work they did in undergrad, they know how to now monitor that person, and they start to task on their own. And a lot of times I'll send the dog home with someone once they're certified, and then they start tasking on their own. And when they come back to me, then we'll train what's left over. Because I like to see how dogs are going to task, because my dogs task all differently. Some trainers train it to where every single dog that they train will come and sit in front of you and bark at you. I don't do it that way. I just let them start tasking on their own. Because, like, for instance, I have a little mini dachshund that climbs up on his person's shoulder and licks his right ear when he is got low blood sugar.
Wow. So it
I didn't
sounds
train.
you're different in that. And listen, humans, I believe that we are given talents. When we're born, we have a purpose in life. The challenge, if you will, is figuring out what that purpose is as life goes on. It sounds like you let that unfold in terms of the dog. Everybody's got special talents.
Yeah.
Maybe, a dog is somehow proficient in sniffing cancer, whatever it might be, whatever it
Right.
is.
Right. Yeah, I like for the dog to show me how they want to do their job, and then I help them complete it if we need to do more work. And that's always a lot of fun to watch that unfold because
Hmm.
probably I have very few dogs that task exactly the same. They're all
Y-
a little bit different.
You saying that, dog has a job. I am now aware of it, even when I'm walking my dog, because I'm just thinking he's out here. I got to walk him. I'm getting in nature. This is okay. I'm spending some time with him. He's going potty. It's all good. But now I look at it as a different way. When he's not leading me on the leash, but he's suggesting maybe I want to go this way, and he's on a hunt. Like he's sniffing. He's not going to go to the bathroom anywhere. He's being very selective, and wait, I get a smell here. I look at that as he's doing his job. He thinks that's what his job is. So I'm like, all right, let you do your thing. Unless it's time, we got to go this way. And then I kind of grab the leash a little bit, and he's like, no, no, I got to get over here right now. I'm like, no, we need to go back. Daddy's got to go to work. But I look at it in a different way ever since you said that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, hopefully it did enrich your life with your dog because that's what animal communication does. It's what any kind of therapy does, right? Is it enriches your life. And the more communicating we do, the better our life is, our quality of our relationships, you know?
Tell me about service dogs and heroes and some maybe amazing things that you're aware of.
Well, I have a dog that's tattooed on my arm, and he is a Rottweiler. I don't know if you can see that or not. I have a
Mm,
pretty little arm.
yep, yep.
But he saved my life because I was living out in Texas. I was living in the outside of Dallas in the country, and it was the day before Christmas Eve. It was raining, and I lived a ways off the road. Not many people came to my house and knocked on the door, but he did. He had two little kids with him. They were all cold and they were wet. First thing I wanted to do is what? Invite him in, right? And that dog, who I never heard, that dog was 5 years old. I'd never heard him growl before. He got in front of me and full face growled this guy. And it scared me, you know? And the guy was terrified, like he froze. And I said that he's not going to let you in. And the guy goes, no. And he said, well, I said, well, what can I do to help you? He said, well, my car got stuck in the mud. Can you go? I see you have a truck. Can you get your truck and pull me out of the mud? He was in the ditch in front of my house.
Mm.
And I said, sure. So dummy me, because I was really young when this happened. And Leo was the dog's name, this Rottweiler. He was the first Rottweiler I had. He was the first service dog I had. And I hadn't even personal protection trained him at the time. So went out there, got the chain out, put it on the truck, and the police show up. And they say to me, do you know this guy? And I'm like, I've never seen him before. He said, you need to go sit in your vehicle because we got to have a little talk with him. Well, come to find out, the police were aware of him because he had been casing the neighborhood. And in his trunk, he had all of the stuff that he had stolen from my neighbors, Christmas, whatever. And so they arrested him and they went back and said to me, we're going to take him in. And later I found out that he had raped someone before. He had been in prison before. He was carrying a gun, Steve, right in his jacket. And I was by myself, lived, probably a half a block off of the highway, off of the road. Nobody would have ever heard me and the two little kids were not even his kids. They were his girlfriend's kids. And he had only known her a couple days. And he was supposed to be babysitting her kids. Instead, he took them out on a robbery spree. And
And
yeah,
and
Leo,
what did the dog do?
he would not let that man in the house. I was trying to let him in the house because those two little kids were cold and wet, you know? I mean, he knew
Wow.
what he was doing. He had the kids with him as a cover.
Oh
And
my
he had a gun.
gosh.
Yeah, so he had a gun, and if I had let him in, he had already been to prison for raping a woman, and theft, burglary. And that's exactly what he was doing. He was burglarizing the neighborhood. And would he have raped me? I mean, it had been a great opportunity for him to do that because there was nobody else around. But the police arrested him for
Dogs know.
stealing. Dogs know. And that dog, he was the sweetest dog in the world. Like I said, I never heard the dog growl before that. It was a shock to me because I'd never seen my dog growl at anyone before. But not only did he growl at him, but he full face growled him. His hackles were up, and he stood in front of me, and there was no way he was letting that guy in the house. So
So how did you
yeah.
end it with that guy? Did you just say, sorry, I can't let you in. My dog says no.
Well, yeah, I said, obviously he's not going to let you in. And he was scared of the dog. He was like, yeah, no, he's not letting me in. And he froze because if he knew if he moved, the dog might have gone for him. I mean, that dog really was on him. Like he was like, no way is this guy a good guy. But again, I was young and I didn't know what my dog was doing. I didn't know until the cops came and opened up his trunk and guy had robbed the whole neighborhood. And that they took a gun out of his he had a gun that was right tucked into his jacket. So yeah, he did
Did you
not have
make, Catherine, did you make the connection immediately after it was revealed from the police what the situation was? Or did you, because you weren't experienced at that time, or did you sit with it and say, oh, days later, week, whatever, oh, wait a minute.
I told the police, I said, my Rottweiler, because there was local police, they knew me. I said, my Rottweiler would not let this guy in the house. And they're like, Leo, like he's the friendly. I mean, they knew him, like, Leo, he's so friendly. He goes, that dog knew what he was doing. And I said,
Wow.
absolutely, that dog knew it. Yeah, they cuffed him, put him in the squad car and took him in. I mean, he was going back to jail. He had already served some time in jail, but he was going right back. But luckily,
Amazing.
he did not rape me or even kill me. I mean, who knows what he would have done because this guy had already had a record and had raped a woman and had gone to jail for robbery, armed robbery. That's exactly what he was doing. Again, he was committing armed robbery. So
Wow.
this is a scary story. Yeah.
So you can help anybody anywhere with, let's say they want to get their dog certified. Are there things that need to be in place before that point? How do you determine if my dog is service dog worthy?
Yeah, we usually have an interview and we talk about it. But if that dog is bonded to you, if that is your dog and you have chemistry with that dog, that's the most important ingredient to begin a journey with a dog if they're going to be a service dog. That dog has to be you and that dog have to be each other's favorite person. So the most important ingredient in the whole service dog uh, person uh, partnership is that chemistry. Just like when you're thinking about marrying somebody, you want to have that in place
Mm.
because it is a marriage of sorts. That dog is going to be with you more than anyone. They're going to be with you pretty much 24/7. So,
Are you able to determine that? Let's say somebody reaches out and says, "Yeah, my dog's 5 years old, and it's an extension of me and my family. Maybe got some medical problems. I'd like to get it certified as a service dog." In short time, can you take a look? Maybe this virtual through videos or whatever, and determine that, yeah, we got some potential here.
wait, that's exactly what I do is we do Zoom calls like this and I can get your dog certified and we can go through. There's two tests that we go through, and I help you train the the tests so that you can pass them, and we can get it done.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Not many people do this, especially virtually anywhere in the country. Animalpsychologycenter.com. Is that the website?
That is it.
Wow. Always great talking with you, Catherine. I have one request.
What can I
Please,
do for
please
you?
update on the Murray situation.
Absolutely. Yes, this is going to be a fun podcast next time because we're going to send Murray home today, and next time we will update on the Murray, how it went and what happened when he went home.
You know what this feels like? It feels like the dating game or like some kind of dating situation where how will it work out? Will Murray and Tika hit it off? We'll
That's
find
right.
out in the next
That's
episode.
right.
Back in
Yeah,
2 and
and
2. Remember that one?
we are always going to have more stories too, because there's always a dog or dogs here that are on their way in the journey that we will talk about.
You know
So
what? If it's okay and you can, bring one to the camera next time and let's hear their story. I think that's so fun.
absolutely,
Wow.
we'll do it every.
Love it. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate it. We'll
Take
be
care.
right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.